Welcome to Entertainment with Les. James Corden is your host of The Late Late Show, if not anymore. Welcome back to the screen. I'm Nate Gino, and today we're breaking down the top 10 James Corden lies exposed to everyone. Number 10, Crosswalk Karaoke. James prides himself on being a multi-talented performer. Naturally, it would make sense based on his talent for acting and singing. We wanted to add a little more to his Crosswalk series. Corden would ask his visitors to learn the musical in this skit. A quick musical piece for shows like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. And the Beast is now aware of the twist. They would perform the song as the traffic lights in Los Angeles were changing during rush hour. Now, kudos to the editing crew on late night. They would simply stand in front of stopped traffic and have dozens and dozens of people dancing and singing in the streets. Usually, the bit is done well, and the audience is typically quite engaged. Multiple drivers' cameras revealed that the actors were actually lip-syncing as well as yelling the lines. Due to the amount of film equipment and the sheer number of people using the freeway at one time, they would take their sweet time moving out of the way of oncoming traffic. Actually, an impatient driver struck James. At the moment, they were performing La La Land. However, I really wish they had focused on cats. That would be the funniest image ever. Number 9, fans with short tempers won't remember anything. However, happy times for the late early show. The host is so vivacious and upbeat, what else could one expect? He even seemed angry. Nonetheless, Balthazar's staff was quite little. When his wife unintentionally served, a French restaurant in New York City faced the wrath of Corden firsthand. A salad and an omelette with an unintentional addition of white and egg yolk. Shouting at the waiters, he had it sent back, and when it came back, it was corrected. But for some reason, it now came with a side of fries rather than a side of salad. He was enraged about it, just as I would be if someone grabbed my salad and replaced it with a platter of fries. I'd be happy if he hadn't gone off on a tangent that supposedly gave the server a panic attack, and that they needed to be replaced. In addition to Keith, the restaurant's owner. Aza James was subsequently officially barred from entry by McNally, his store asserting once more his behavior toward his Balthazar servers was the worst he had ever witnessed since the restaurant's doors first opened 25 years prior. The waitress eventually apologized for the incident, but only as a previous server when she was invited back. I can confidently state that for forward, there will always be a small amount of egg whites in your omelet salute. Number 8, in one of the more well-liked segments of the program, Late Late Lie Detector, Corden gets his guest to connect to a lie detector test and respond. A series of questions are broadcast during one of the joke segments, during which guest Kris Jenner is connected to the line. When she is questioned about her role in creating a certain recording, you will know if you know. When the expert gave a resounding case closed, right, no, not even close, she quickly rolled her eyes, shook her head, and said no. Because the following day, Ray J, Kim Kardashian's ex-boyfriend, criticized. The program claimed that the test giver was a phony in the episode. John threatened to sue Corden and the show itself, and continued by calling the network sorry for airing the piece despite his lack of qualifications. There was some digging done, and it turns out that some of these statements were true. According to John's LinkedIn profile, he had gone to a number of unknown lie detector schools, which is sufficiently made up. However, it also states that he holds a law bachelor's degree. However, he didn't actually complete the course. If you require any more evidence that the man in question was a fraud, here it is. Kris gave a response to the query. Who is your favorite host, except James Corden, of course? Once more uttered only a monotonous truth. Number 7, food petition for Aisha. Spill Your Guts is a part on The Late Late Show when guests are forced to either answer challenging questions or eat the awful food that was served to them. While the food served to the guests is intended to be repulsive and prompt to response, alternatively, many of the foods are actually well-known dishes from different Asian cultures. He offered dishes like balut. Fish eggs and chicken feet are mingled with other products in a suspicious manner, and waste from animals. Many fans were outraged by Corden's outright criticism of the food, which led to the start of a petition on change.org. They demanded that the entire segment be deleted. After nearly a month of petitioning from the program. That was the hosts of Late Late's response. They would never again serve any Asian cuisine on his show. Number 6. John Patrick Stewart, Jr. The X-Men movie series and Sir Patrick Stewart's portrayal of Charles Xavier are his most well-known roles. However, he is also well known for his sweet nature at the Glamour Awards a few years ago. He was giving out a prize. Stewart informs the audience that Corden was backstage with his hands in his pockets, resembling when a particular late show host was observed. He would prefer to be literal. Anywhere else, and Corden of course rushed to the stage to stand in his defense. James informed Stewart that he was completely mistaken, which led Stewart to quip about seeing James' stomach across the room. Stage that was set by this. Patrick was to be confronted by James and told to give an explanation. He was naturally asked to leave after the punchline. The point that many assume that something like this was planned. However, there hasn't been any evidence or proof to date that this was staged. This happened a long time before his restaurant's failure. So it demonstrated just how poor and irritable Corden really is. Number 5. Spill Your Guts by Demi Moore is a bestseller. A quick revisit to this list because 2019 is coming up. Corden invited Moore to advertise her new on the program. Moore questioned during the Spill Your Guts section of the memoir dubbed Inside Out. In the green room, Corden: "What specific passage in my book did you say you loved?" Corden stumbled and paused before continuing, "Oh, I love the part about the drugs." Then he gave in and acknowledged that he didn't read the book, but he did enjoy the illustrations. Therefore, that must qualify as hosting the Late Late. You are not have to read every book, see every movie, or watch every TV show that is presented to you, but at least be honest about it. He acknowledged lying and apologized for it. Prior to chowing down on a large old spoon of cow blood and hog tongue, he simply wanted her to feel better. Tasty jelly. This part is the sole reason this deception has ever been revealed. But you have to wonder how many other visitors have received the information they desired over the years and what else he has actually not seen or read. I'm not sure if you should share your comments below. Number 4. Karaoke in the Vehicle. Carpool karaoke is one of Corden's most well-known late-night segments, where James offers to let a famous guest ride along while he drives around the city and perform well-known and popular songs. Sounds wholesome, right? No. You're mistaken, as evidenced by the online appearance of a snapshot in 2018. In reality, James never operated the vehicles during this and that segment. On a trailer, they were merely transported around the city. This not only indicates that James lied about the incident. However, anyone who entered his vehicle was lying too openly. He ought to have just been upfront about this, in my opinion. Knowing that famous would have actually given the joke a new humorous dimension. What was essentially a $40,000 wagon was being used to pull people around. Now he says the trailer is there for safety reasons. Hey buddy, are you really living if you can't sing and drive at the same time? Number 3. Soapbox slander. One of the most watched soap operas in British television is Hollyoaks, which has been broadcast on Channel 4 in the early nights since 1995. Early on in his professional career, James actually made an appearance on one of the episodes of this program, and he later utilized the film to help launch his career, proudly listing the position on his CV even after his lies were exposed. Many years later, he used an interview on The Late Late Show to criticize the program, saying that he'd rather die than return for another episode and that it was terrible. He asserted that the cast was comprised of individuals who felt like chickens in a basket of fame. They frequently discussed relocating to Los Angeles. Hey, dude, what's the matter? Dreams cannot exist in persons. The 100 in American is where American viewers are most familiar with Ricky Whittle's work. Godz acted as a nightclub manager and police officer. Calvin Valentine was a frequent defender on the show from 2006 until 2011. This series and imparts some of his own linguistic wisdom, telling Corden how immature it would have been disparaging a show that essentially launched his career. He then made light of his ignorance. Who James portrayed in James' own television series. Gavin and Stacey are acting as if they know one another personally. I Don't Number 2 The Dance in 2018, the prom premiered on Broadway and received 7 Tony Award nominations. A group of narcissists are the subject of the musical. New York theater players who use a high school dispute in a tiny community. Moreover, the town forbids a female student from inviting her girlfriend to prom, using this as an opportunity to cynically self-promote. 2020 saw the debut of the movie adaptation, which starring Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, and Look. This is James Corden. Corden was overjoyed with his performance and made sure to let everyone know how proud he was, but sadly for him, his pride soon turned to humiliation as the reviews started coming in. You can see that Corden might portray Barry Glickman, the group from New York that was the most self-centered. While Corden is not openly gay, the character is, and his interpretation of the role was ambiguous. Despite the negative reactions, he consistently leaned into gay stereotypes while performing what many in the business called gay face. Corden received a Golden Globe nomination, but Sasha ultimately received the honor. Number 1. The cash, please talk shows are straightforward. You gather a few cameras in a classy studio with a strong band and some decor. You have a show, too. However, extravagant segments like street performances and singing in a trailer car thing hybrid are rarely featured on talk shows. They might be able to put everything together and convince us that everything is fine. However, the cast and crew must pay for the catering, and he cordoned off himself. Reportedly earned more than $5 million a year through the program, which is a lot given that the program typically has a $65 million annual budget. However, it only ever generated $45 million in revenue. The only way the program could have continued to air would have been if Corden had not taken a significant wage cut and had severe staff reductions. Therefore, he decided to end the program altogether, which would be different if his show was involved. However, The Late Late Show has been around for a while. He has been taking things away ever since Tom Snyder began hosting in 1995. Rather than just creating, he did it all. Everyone loses their job, including some people. I'm not sure, but it's probably fine. There you have it, guys. Will James Corden's other lies be revealed? Post your comments about this in the section below. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.